We're talking skin lightening, we're talking melasma, dark patches of skin or spots on the skin. And even though we're talking about the skin, we're talking about a seemingly skincare issue, what we're really talking about is an internal condition. When your skin pigments inappropriately, rest assured you're dealing with some kind of internal condition. This is why it's so tough to treat skin pigment on a permanent basis. You can address skin pigment topically temporarily. You can get rid of skin pigment that's there, but pigmentation that is occurring is not going to be, you're not going to be able to address it simply with topical means, the pigmentation that as it's occurring. The trick to dealing with hyperpigmentation, as is the trick to dealing with all skin health issues, whether we're talking eczema, psoriasis, acne, dry skin, vitiligo, whatever, hyperpigmentation. The trick to addressing all of these issues is to understand the relationship between what shows up on the skin and what is occurring inside the body. As far as pigment goes, for some reason, throughout history, throughout the history of cosmetics anyway, and it's a long history, women have been obsessed with having beautiful white skin. Problem is, if the body wants to pigment the skin, it's going to pigment the skin, and that means if you're going to do something about your skin pigmentation problems without addressing your health conditions, so the underlying health conditions, you got to go into what's called cytotoxicity or cell death, killing cells, because pigmentation of the skin is so important to the body. It's such a fundamental part of the stress response. The only way to override that system, to override that stress response, is to kill cells. Throughout history, women have used all kinds of stuff, including toxic minerals like mercury, to lighten their skin. Mercury basically kills pigment cells. Voila, your skin is light. Lead is the same thing. As early as the Renaissance period, in the 15th century, women were using lead to heal their skin. Using lead, using mercury, ultimately will clear the pigment on the skin, but in a cytotoxic killing fashion. One of the early killing skin lighteners, cell-killing skin lighteners, was called Spirits of Saturn or Venetia cerusse. This was a type of paint additive that was used by artists to create a whitening effect on the canvas, but it also has a very effective skin whitening effect. Of course, the problem with Venus cerusse, or Spirits of Saturn, is it's a type of lead. Lead acetate, which is made by mixing lead in with vinegar, and while it was great for paintings, and it gave the skin an artificially white tone, it was seriously awful stuff. And when it was put into skin creams in the form of acetate, in the form of lead acetate, it very readily entered into the circulation. Through the skin, it entered into the blood, resulted in lead poisoning. This caused hair loss, muscle paralysis, mental health issues, including dementias. Cerusse, Venus cerusse, or lead, is also toxic to the skin. It would create ulcerations in the surface of the skin, so women had to use more lead to cover the blisters and the ulceration that was caused by the lead in the first place. And ultimately, it's thought that the application of this Venus cerusse, or Spirits of Saturn, or lead acetate — by the way, Saturn's mineral is lead, hence the name Spirits of Saturn. The mineral that's associated with the planet Saturn is lead. Just like gold is associated with the sun, lead was associated with Saturn. Anyway, Spirits of Saturn and lead and Venus cerusse, all of these caused big, big, big problems, and a lot of women died to have their skin white, including, by the way, Queen Elizabeth I, whose face was scarred by smallpox at an early age. If you've ever seen a picture of Elizabeth, considered one of the more effective of the British rulers, you can't help but notice that she had this incredibly, incredibly white skin. Well, that whiteness was not natural. It was a result of the application of very thick layers of Venetian cerusse, or Venus cerusse, depending on who you ask. Ultimately, historians believe that Elizabeth's deteriorating mental state — she kind of went crazy towards the end of her life — and ultimately they believe that her demise was at least partially related to her use of this Venetian cerusse, this skin whitener. As it turns out, a lot of women, other women too, from the Renaissance period on, especially wealthy women who could afford the stuff, suffered the problems associated with lead poisoning just to keep their skin light. Skin lightening is very big in Asia. There's an ancient Chinese proverb that says, "One white covers up 3 uglies." Asian women, like all women, were obsessed with keeping their skin white, keeping their skin light. And these days, a lot of skin lightening technologies actually come from Japan and Korea and China. Asian skin is especially prone to pigmentation issues, and there's a very interesting reason for that. And it has to do with the real causes of skin pigmentation. It's not the sun that causes hyperpigmentation. People say, well, stay out of the sun if you've got these sunspots. They call them sunspots. It's not the sun that is the cause of hyperpigmentation. Otherwise, everybody who went out in the sun would be hyperpigmenting. That's not the case. What's really the cause of hyperpigmentation is stress and stress hormones, stress chemistry, stress hormones. I'm not just talking about emotional stress and psychological stress. I'm talking about digestive stress. I'm talking about sugar stress. I'm talking about hormone stress, especially estrogen and especially cortisol. Asians are particularly high estrogen producers, and thus the importance or the relevance to skin lightening. Asian skin is prone towards pigmentation issues because of the excess amounts of estrogen, not excess, but the high amounts of estrogen that Asians produce. These days, skin lightening strategies are just same old, same old. There's nothing new under the sun, no pun intended. And skin lightening strategies today are the same as skin lightening strategies in the Renaissance. Killing cells, killing pigment cells. Pigmentation is a fundamental part of chemistry. Hyperpigmentation is when that fundamental chemistry goes awry. But the fact that pigmentation, whether it's hyperpigmentation, too much pigmentation, or normal pigmentation, is a fundamental part of biochemistry means it doesn't lend itself to control. You can't really control pigmentation. If the skin wants to pigment or the body wants to pigment the skin, it's going to happen. This is why the only way to effectively lighten the skin artificially, exogenously, from the outside, using a cosmetic topical product, is to poison the skin. Whether you're poisoning the skin in a mild sense, using mild skin lighteners, or you're poisoning the skin in a serious sense, using hydroquinone or Venetian cerusse or lead or mercury. If you're going to pigment the skin, affect the pigmentation of the skin artificially, you're going to have to use some pretty severe chemistry, and that is not a good idea. On the other hand, there's lots of wonderful non-toxic strategies that you can use.
Says or does something silly once in a while, but once that embarrassing thing is on the internet, it can spread like a terrible rash. Put it to rest. Get a free expert analysis today from Reputation.com. It only takes 30 seconds. 800-831-0771. We protect your online image by helping to make sure that when people search for you or your business, they find the most current, accurate information possible. Reputation.com, because word travels fast. Call for a free analysis today. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Many experts are predicting that food prices will surge this year due to the severe drought in California. 30dayfoodsupply.com has pre-purchased a large supply of ingredients, so we can continue to sell our 30-day food supply for only $99, and there's no limit to the number of boxes you can purchase. Our vegetarian meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, and they're packed with oxygen absorbers in Mylar bags. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from the producers in Oregon and then pass the savings on to you. Call 800-700-2184, and remember, only $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit the website 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 800-700-2184. That's 30dayfoodsupply.com at 800-700-2184. 800-700-2184 for 30dayfoodsupply.com.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state in back taxes, you know they'll never stop coming after you. With bank levies, wage garnishments, they'll even seize your home or business. The good news? A government program for tax debt forgiveness. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative.
I'm Paul Sibley with U.S. Tax Shield. We can help navigate the new laws, get you protected, and resolve your tax issues permanently.
Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield now for your free consultation and get a guaranteed quote to resolve your case. Call 800-436-6451. That's 800-436-6451.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia? It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
Getting a good view of a sore throat can be difficult, but the new doctor-recommended sore throat exam kit from SayAhNow.com makes it easy. A first-of-its-kind scientifically designed oral retractor to relax the tongue, minimize gag reflex, and increase visibility. Our Made in the USA kit also includes a medical-grade reference chart, easy-to-use website and app so that you're one click away from unparalleled sore throat information. Click SayAhNow.com. SayAhNow.com, a must-have for your family's medical preparedness.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Mike Stenerson for Midas Resources. At no time in history have precious metals been more important, certainly not in my 22 years in the industry. The dollar has lost over 90% of its value in the last 60 years. No fiat currency has ever survived the government printing presses. Ours is not immune. The time is now to be proactive. 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Anything tied to the dollar is at risk. CDs, annuities, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, you name it, so decide. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth or debt for your family? The choice is yours. Call me at 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Be proactive, not reactive. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 116.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
Getting a good view of a sore throat can be difficult, but the new doctor-recommended sore throat exam kit from SayAhNow.com makes it easy. A first-of-its-kind scientifically designed oral retractor to relax the tongue, minimize gag reflex, and increase visibility. Our Made in the USA kit also includes a medical-grade reference chart, easy-to-use website and app so that you're one click away from unparalleled sore throat information. Click SayAhNow.com. SayAhNow.com, a must-have for your family's medical preparedness.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Are you excited about the World Wide Web? Do you want a place where you can share your ideas and express yourself? Well, dial up your modems and stream on down to the GCN Live Community Forum. Lots of radical features await you there.
Wow, Internet guy, I'm so glad I went to the GCN Live Community Forum.
You too can discover why the World Wide Web is awesome. Just go to gcnlive.com/forum. That's gcnlive.com/forum. I'll see you in cyberspace. Friend GCN Live on Diaspora and Cross.tv.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Why do over 50% of North Americans suffer from some form of chronic ailment? Could it be due to a toxic overload? It's time to take back your life. Get the lead out as well as the cadmium, mercury, and calcium. Extendovite is a garlic cayenne supplement with 5 other herbs that acts like a natural Drano, cleaning out the stored toxins, restoring your energy and youthfulness that we've lost. If you would like to live your life free of sickness, pain, or fear, then Extendovite is for you. Available in either capsules or liquid, you too can see why Extendovite is the #1 heart drop available. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
All right, so talking about skin lightening, hyperpigmentation, if you've got spots showing up, you got an internal condition. It is not the sun's fault. Don't blame the sun. Blame some kind of burden on the inside of the body, whether it's a psychological, emotional, mental stressor, or blood sugar changes, or digestive changes, or some kind of immune system problem. These are all conditions that will up cortisol levels, up estrogen levels. Stress hormones like cortisol and estrogen are associated with pigmentation issues. Article from Medscape today. High saliva cortisol may flag cognitive trouble. Measuring cortisol levels in older folks is now being recommended, especially for folks who are dealing with issues with Alzheimer's disease or cognitive impairment. That's because stress hormones affect the brain. Stress hormones are associated with lower total brain volume. High cortisol levels, high stress, is associated with poorer cognitive function. Lowering cortisol levels by relaxing the body is so important for every single system. And it's not a doctor issue. It's not a medical issue. It's a powerful strategy that we can all use ourselves, or we can all apply or exploit or leverage ourselves. If your skin is pigmenting inappropriately, you almost guaranteed have an issue with elevations in cortisol and elevations in estrogen that are associated with some kind of stress. Pigmentation is a fundamental, basic part of the stress response. Your dermatologist probably does not know this. Your skincare professional, likewise, probably does not know this. But now you do, which means if you're hyperpigmenting, in addition to some topical strategies that we're going to talk about here momentarily, you have an internal condition that is manifesting itself as a sign or as a result of an elevated stress response. Now, from a topical, we're going to talk about some wonderful nutritional supplements that you can use. One of the best is pantothenic acid, vitamin B5, which we have not talked about anywhere nearly enough. It's super duper important for helping strengthen or stabilize the stress response. Vitamin B5 is important for the adrenal glands. It's important for all the skin issues that are associated with stress. Vitamin B5 is majorly important for how the body processes fats and fatty hormones. Older women are especially prone to problems with fat synthesis, fat metabolism, fat processing. Vitamin B5 is important for menopausal patients, for hyperpigmenting patients, for oily skin and acne patients, for patients dealing with excess burden or excess stress. And you're not going to find vitamin B5 in high concentrations in a lot of supplements. You're not going to find vitamin B5 in even though it's found throughout the natural world. All foods have a little bit, or most foods have a little bit of vitamin B5. You're not going to find the good doses that you need. You need grams of the stuff. If you're dealing with oily skin or acne, or if you're dealing with pigmentation, we're going to cover vitamin B5 internally, and we're going to cover vitamin C internally, and we're going to cover vitamin A and zinc internally, all as it regards hyperpigmentation. But from a topical perspective, there is stuff you can do. Even though the skin wants to pigment, and even though the only drug strategies involve poisoning the skin, there are some great nutritional and great non-toxic strategies you can use to lighten the skin. if you've studied skin lightening, or if you've had hyperpigmentation and you've kind of done your research and you want to know how to address it, you've probably run into the word tyrosinase. Tyrosinase is an enzyme that helps break down the amino acid tyrosine. Tyrosine is a super duper important amino acid that helps give you energy. It's important for folks who have thyroid problems. Tyrosine is like a cup of coffee, a natural cup of coffee. Don't do too much because you'll get a little jittery, but if you do 100 or 200 milligrams of tyrosine, Tyrosine, 100 or 200 milligrams of tyrosine in the morning, you're not going to need your coffee. If you do too much, you're going to get really jittery, so you don't want to do too much, but 100 to 200 milligrams in the morning is a great little natural pick-me-up. Well, it turns out that the body actually processes tyrosine with an enzyme called tyrosine enzyme, or tyrosinase, and that tyrosinase or tyrosine enzyme turns tyrosine into pigment. Yes, tyrosine, that same pick-me-up amino acid, is a root or precursor or raw material for making pigment. Pigment comes, partially at least, from tyrosine. Tyrosinase is the enzyme that turns tyrosine into pigment, and if you've studied your skin lightening or done research on skin lightening, you probably come across the phrase tyrosinase inhibitors. These are substances, and they're found everywhere in nature, that inhibit or suppress the activity of the enzyme that turns tyrosine into pigment. So tyrosinase inhibitors are the main strategy, or one of the most important strategies, for lightening the skin. And these tyrosinase inhibitors are found everywhere. Now, certainly, there are drugs that are tyrosinase inhibitors. Hydroquinone, the classic gold standard medical treatment for pigmentation, is a tyrosinase inhibitor. But there are natural, non-toxic tyrosinase inhibitors also. Arbutin, A-R-B-U-T-I-N, is the pretty much go-to tyrosinase inhibitor when it comes to the natural world, when it comes to the non-pharmaceutical world, when it comes to the over-the-counter world. And you've probably seen Arbutin, A-R-B-U-T-I-N, in your skin lightening product if you've done some research and you're looking for the so-called gold standard of non-hydroquinone lighteners. Actually, Arbutin is a type of hydroquinone, although it's much milder and much less effective and much less toxic. It's gentle and it's available over the counter. To get the most bang for your buck, if you're using Arbutin, you want to use it with another skin lightener that is really, really, really effective, probably even more effective than Arbutin, and that is vitamin C. Vitamin C is a stupendously valuable skin care, skin health ingredient. And if you are using a skin health or skincare product that does not feature stabilized vitamin C in its fatty form, you are truly missing the boat on skin health. And I'm talking about every single marker of skin health. I'm talking about moisturization. I'm talking about anti-wrinkle. I'm talking about fighting acne. I'm talking about skin lightening. Pretty much everything you want in a skincare product, everything you want in a skin health ingredient is available through vitamin C, but not just any vitamin C. You can't use the cheapo stuff. The cheapo stuff is ascorbic acid. Now, the cheapo stuff, ascorbic acid, is good internally, but from a topical perspective, if you want to get your vitamin C benefits, you've got to use the fatty vitamin C. And the benefits are tremendous, and they don't take very long for you to notice. When you start using a high-quality, high-concentration, premium, fat-soluble vitamin C, like ascorbyl palmitate or ascorbyl tetraisopalmitate, you notice results within days. And that's how you know if a skin ingredient or skin product is effective, is if you notice results quickly, because the skin is growing quickly, the skin is moving quickly, the cells of the skin are dividing quickly, so you should have results likewise quickly. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We're coming back with your phone calls right after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben, talking skin lightening, not just as it involves skin itself, but as it involves the internal milieu, the internal condition of the body. If you're dealing with hyperpigmentation issues, you more than likely are dealing with stress hormone cortisol issues, female hormone / stress hormone estrogen issues, adrenal health issues, digestive issues, and blood sugar issues. Nobody just has hyperpigmentation. This is so important when it comes to the health of the body. Nobody just has one health condition. We may notice it in one part of the body, but the body breaks down as a system. It's a field. It's a system in the sense that all the parts are connected. I got a call or a letter a few months ago from a gal whose husband had polycystic kidney disease, and I gave her a whole program. I told her, she says to me, and I hear this all the time, oh, he's perfectly healthy, but he has polycystic kidney disease. Everything else is fine. And we think this. We think everything else is fine, but we just have polycystic kidney disease. Folks, that's impossible. It doesn't occur that way. And this poor misguided woman who's trying to take care of her husband, who's deluded into believing her husband's perfectly healthy, but he just has polycystic kidney disease, is now forced to go to the doctor and to deal with the medical model so that she can have the kidney addressed. I hear this all the time. I got Parkinson's disease, but otherwise I'm perfectly healthy. You can't be perfectly healthy if you have these kinds of conditions. And this is not to say that I'm not trying to beat anybody up. I'm just saying if we want to address the condition of our brain, if we have Parkinson's disease or the condition of our kidneys, if we have polycystic kidney disease or the condition of our skin, if we're hyperpigmenting, we've got to address the field, the system, the entire body, which is one unit, which means if you got a kidney problem, you got a body problem. If you got a brain problem, you got a body problem. If you got a skin problem, you got a body problem, and you have to address the body. And then the skin will resolve itself, the kidney will resolve itself, and the brain will resolve itself. This is so fundamental. And it's such good news because it liberates us. It emancipates us from a reductionist model that thinks that all the parts of our body are somehow separated. They're not. They're connected by an invisible underlying field. And by addressing that invisible underlying field with just basic, simple lifestyle strategies, changing the way we eat, changing the way we supplement, changing the way we breathe, restricting the amount of sugar that we eat, relaxing the body, all of these simple, basic lifestyle strategies that have nothing to do with the medical model. Once we start to incorporate these, not only will we be liberated from the medical model, not only will we be emancipated from Obamacare and from our prescription drugs and from strategies, medical strategies that butcher us and ablate us and destroy us and poison us, but we will truly, really get better the divine way, the divinely mandated way. Because at the end of the day, folks, the body is a healing and regenerating system. Let us show you how simple and easy this can be. 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Welcome, Michael from Washington. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call again. I called yesterday. I want to get really to the point here so I don't hog the whole show. For the last 5 weeks, I've had severe pain in my hip, minor pain in my back. I couldn't get in to see my doctor, so I went to a chiropractor for the first time. They sent out for images on my condition, and then they brought me back and said I had degenerative arthritic spine disease. And then they showed me that I had severe disc, osteoporosis, spurs, the whole 9 yards. So,
how old are you, Michael?
I'm 65.
Okay, yeah, I remember talking to you yesterday. Here's the deal, Michael. You don't necessarily, your spine is degenerating and you got the osteoporosis. I don't want to address that. What I want to tell you is, from a healing perspective, you only need to know one thing. You don't need a chiropractor. You don't need a doctor for any of this stuff. You only need to know one thing. You ready for this, Michael? Your body is falling apart. You're melting, you're dissolving, and all you got to do is figure out why this is occurring, because this isn't the way the body operates. The body's a regenerating system, and you are degenerating. So something is interfering. You follow me? I want you to see how we're working here logically, not just for you, but for all the listeners. Your body's a regenerating system, but you're degenerating. So something is interfering, and there's only two ways this interference can develop. Either something is getting into the system that shouldn't be, or something is not getting into the system that should be. You follow me? The wrong stuff's getting in and the right stuff is not getting in. So let's address this from both angles. First of all, how does the wrong stuff get in? Well, if you were injecting heroin into your blood, or you were using vaccines, or somehow bypassing your skin barrier and getting right into the blood, then that could be a problem. But you don't sound like you're doing that. So there's only one other way. And you could be breathing it in too, but that's minor. For the most part, things get into the blood. The wrong things get into the blood through foods and digestion. And I'm going to tell you how you do that in a second, but I want that to make sense to you. The wrong stuff gets in through the digestive system, through the intestine. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay, this is for everybody listening now, not just for Michael. If you are degenerating, but we know the body's a regenerating system, the wrong stuff is getting in and the right stuff isn't. Part one, the wrong stuff getting in, 99.9% of the time, it's coming in through the intestinal barrier, through the digestive system. That means food and digestion, period. The second phase, or the second compartment, or the second aspect, if you will, the second category is the wrong stuff. The right stuff is not getting in, and that's your Mighty 90 essential nutrients. So between eliminating the wrong stuff getting in and putting the right stuff in, this thing can begin to reverse. It has nothing to do with a chiropractor or a doctor. So step number one, you want to do a food diary and start to notice when you have digestive symptomology. When you're eating the wrong foods and stuff is getting into the blood and that shouldn't be getting in, you'll feel it. You'll either be constipated, you'll have diarrhea, you'll have loose stools, you'll feel bloated, you'll feel crampy, something. You follow me, Michael?
Yes.
And the problem is symptomology tends to diminish. We don't notice it as much over the course of time. So if you're 65 and and I'm not saying this is true, but if it is, just in case it's true, if you've been eating the wrong thing for 60 years or 65 years, you're not going to notice it. When you're crampy or you're bloaty or you're constipated, it's just going to go under the radar. The brain kind of turns down the volume on things that occur over and over again, especially over the course of years and decades. So you have to write it down. Write down everything you eat, and then write down how you feel an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours later. That's called a food diary. And it'll help if you're up for it. If you fast for 2 or 3 days, that will make you more sensitive to the results, to the effects of certain foods. You'll notice it more. So you may be just for hypothetical sake, you eat bread, right? And you're crampy and bloaty, but because you've been doing it all your life, you don't notice that you're crampy and bloaty after you eat bread or cereal, let's say. But if you fast for 2 days and then eat bread, all of a sudden that crampy or bloatiness is going to become much more exaggerated. You're going to notice it more. You follow what I'm saying? If you clear the decks and then reintroduce, you'll become more sensitized to the symptomology, the effects of certain foods. The next thing you want to do, so that's a food diary and then eliminate problem foods. Step number one. Step number two is you have to start to strengthen the digestive lining, the intestinal lining, and there's lots of ways to do it. Now, I'm going to tell you some strategies, and it's not even going to make sense to a lot of folks who haven't listened to this program before. You're going to say, well, Michael has a back problem. He's got a hip problem. He's got a bone problem. What do probiotics have to do with that? Well, they have a lot to do with it because good bacteria help strengthen the integrity of the digestive lining, keeps problem foods from getting into the blood, reduces inflammation, reduces the immune response, so now your body can start to heal itself. And that's just one example. So food diary, food elimination, get yourself on the Biolumin Nightly Essence, 3 capsules in the morning, 3 capsules at night. Don't go away, Michael. Got lots more to tell you. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. If you're on hold, hang on. We'll get to you when we come back from our break. Michael in Washington, listen, I'm going to go fast here, okay, buddy? I just wanted to understand the logic. Wrong stuff getting in, right stuff not getting in. In order to prevent the wrong stuff getting in, you patch up the digestive system, everything you can think of. Number one, probiotics and good bacteria. Food diary and eliminating problem foods. Are you with me, Michael? Is this starting to make sense to you? Okay, good. Yes. Okay, good. So you patch up the gut, and you have to have had long-standing digestive problems, FYI, if you know them or don't know them, for you to be this degenerated at the young age of 65, and you are very young, got a good 45 years left. All right, so probiotics, good bacteria, eliminate problem foods. Use the glucogel caps. Those will do a couple things for you. They're going to help you build joint tissue for the degenerative disease, and then also they'll help build connective tissue in the intestine to strengthen the intestine. Same with bone soup, which is chicken soup with the cartilage. The cartilage itself is helps regenerate joints, but also is very strengthening for the digestive tract. Less food is also going to help you, so you don't put a burden on the digestive system. Make sure you're getting enough quality protein, especially whey protein, and always do your ultimate enzymes with your protein so you can enhance absorption, and then also do some apple cider vinegar with your enzymes and with your protein. It will help you if you do your protein, your enzymes, and your apple cider vinegar after some resistance training. And it doesn't have to be anything intense. It could be something as simple as just lifting some dumbbells if you do them correctly. Or, you can go to the gym for 10 or 15 minutes a day, 4 days a week. And when you come home, do your protein, your digestive enzymes, and your apple cider vinegar. And then also, if you want to throw one more thing in, you can get some creatine powder, which we've talked about in the past. Always do essential fatty acids with your protein and with your meals in general. Essential fatty acids are very, very important for helping build connective tissue. Bone and joint tissue is a type of connective tissue, and essential fatty acids are important. Make sure you're using your Mighty 90 essential nutrients. Last, but well, not last, a couple more things. Make sure you're keeping your intake of sugar down: refined sugar, bread sugar, cereal sugar, pasta sugar, fruit juice sugar, fruit sugar. Why? Because sugar is pro-inflammatory and will keep your body from regenerating. And then last, but most certainly not least, make sure you're relaxing, especially after your resistance training. Why? Because the body heals, it grows, it recovers when you are relaxed, not when you're working and not when you're stressed. So oxygenation can relax the body, hot tubs and massages can relax the body, yoga and meditation can relax the body, anything you can do to relax. So number one, you're going to work on the digestive system with a food diary and probiotics and cartilage products, bone soup, etc. Number two, you're going to take in your building nutrients, especially protein and essential fatty acids. Use resistance training. Make sure you're using your ultimate enzymes and apple cider vinegar with your protein, and then relax the body with oxygenation, with massages, anything you could do to use all the relaxation strategies that we talk about here on the program. There's a lot more to it, but that is a great place for you to start. And it's not just for Michael, it's for anybody out there who's dealing with a degenerative condition. Does that make sense, Michael?
Yeah, so you take the enzymes and the vinegar before you eat them?
With it could, yeah, with it, yeah. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Michael. Okay, buddy. All right, Ed in Idaho, what's going on, man?
Okay, hi, Ben. I'm a regular listener and really appreciate your perspective on digestion. I believe you're right on the money.
Good deal.
My questions for you are this. What to eat, raw versus cooked vegetables, how much fruit, recent negativity.
Let's take those one at a time. Those are all good questions. Let's take them one at a time. Okay, so raw versus cooked. Let's take that first. Raw is always better. However, with some foods, especially certain vegetables, you got to steam them a little bit to release the nutrients. But I say a little bit. Raw is good as long as you can process some of the nutrients that are in veggies. You may have to steam them a little bit. What you don't want to do is overcook, and you don't want to have most of your meals coming out from cooked foods. And there's a very interesting relationship between health and enzymes. Most foods that we eat, processed foods, cooked foods, don't have enzymes. They're depleted. And enzymes are unbelievably important. What we call vitamins are really, or at least the main ones, the two main ones, C and the B complex, are coenzymes. They're not enzymes. They're not only vitamins. They're coenzymes. They help the enzymes work. But without the enzymes, the coenzymes don't have any effect, and most of us are enzyme depleted. Why? Because we're eating processed foods. We're eating cooked food. So raw is always the way to go, but you may need to steam slightly, and there are certain foods that you can't eat raw because of toxicity and because of bacteria, so you got to be careful. But as much as you can do... broccoli, you might have to steam a little bit because that's so dense and there's so much fiber in there. Some of those nutrients are locked up. So you might want to steam that a little bit. The cruciferous vegetables in general. So between raw and slightly steaming, that's where you want 80 to 90% of your foods, in my opinion. Cooked foods, keep them down to a minimum, basically because of that whole enzyme. Not to mention the fact that vitamins are heat unstable to heat also. Does that answer your question? A little bit cooked, but mostly raw or slightly steamed.
Yes. How about quinoa? What's the deal with that?
Quinoa? Yeah. With an N? Quinoa?
Quinoa. Q-U...
Quinoa, yes. Quinoa is an awesome grain, high protein. It does have sugar in there, so you don't want to go crazy with it, but as far as grains go, it's one of the best. You do need to cook that one a little bit, and you are going to lose some of the enzyme value and the vitamin value, but as far as grains go, it's one of the best. Quinoa, you're saying Q-U-I-N.
Inflammatory.
Well, say again?
I read recent reviews on it saying it's inflammatory.
It is inflammatory. All grains are going to have a certain inflammatory effect because they're sugar, and sugar is very inflammatory. So that's why I'm not a big believer in grains. However, as far as grains go, quinoa is one of the best.
Okay. My issues are inflammation as it relates to arthritis, heartburn, bloating, gas, and more recently, piles.
Those are all connected to foods. And I was just talking to Michael in Washington. Everything I told him is going to apply to you as well. Number one, do a food diary and try to get data. You need to isolate the problem foods. We need data, information, sample points. So you got to take notes, and that's what a food diary is. It's basically taking notes on everything you eat and how your body responds to that. And then once you get the information, eliminating the problem foods. And then all the digestive support stuff. Digestive enzymes play a dual role in taking care of the inflammatory process. Number one, they help you process your food. They help you digest your food, and that's important that has anti-inflammatory effects. When food is not processed correctly, especially proteins, the little chunks of protein, they're called peptides, will leak into the blood, and the inflammatory response ensues. So by using digestive enzymes, you can prevent that from occurring by helping the body break down those protein foods completely, so that instead of chunks of protein getting into the blood, small amino acids get into the blood, and that's what's supposed to happen. Secondly, digestive enzymes can actually, on their own, break up inflammatory clogs, if you will, in the joints and in the blood. So taken on an empty stomach, digestive enzymes have anti-inflammatory effects. Taken with food, they have digestive effects, which have anti-inflammatory effects. So both, you can take them with food, and you can take them on an empty stomach and get anti-inflammatory benefits. Also the probiotics, the Biolumin Nightly Essence, 3 in the morning, 3 at night. The Fuchs Z, I forgot to mention that. That also has some wonderful digestive health benefits. It helps strengthen the digestive lining. Likewise with the glucogel cap, strengthens the digestive lining, and will also help you build joint tissue. Don't forget your Mighty 90 essential nutrients, especially the Ultimate EFAs, which have anti-inflammatory effects. Also, one last thing, a couple last things. Vitamin E and vitamin C are tremendously anti-inflammatory. You need high doses of both, though, 400 to 800, even up to 1,200 IU of vitamin E. Look for the mixed tocopherol form, and then also vitamin C in high doses. You'll get that in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You want to do about 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, although you can do a lot more than that. Go ahead, Ed. Anything else?
What about the piles? How do you treat that?
Fasting. Fasting and eliminating problem foods is the best way to treat piles. Now, you said that those showed up at the end, right? Or those showed up recently. Yeah. I'm sorry. So your digestive system was degenerating for a while, right? Before that occurred.
Yes, I've had this inflammation and the arthritis and heartburn and all that, and I'm wondering if I have a leaky gut.
Well, you absolutely have a leaky gut. Everybody has a leaky gut, but yours is more significant. When you have hemorrhoids or piles, that's a sign that the blood is not circulating correctly and the digestive system you're constipated, basically, and you're doing this pushing thing. So hemorrhoids and piles need to be regarded as a digestive condition and as a circulatory condition. Things are getting into the blood that shouldn't, and you're constipated. So eliminating problem foods is always the way to go for constipation. Constipation is like when the intestine freezes. It's like a deer in the headlights kind of effect, except it's in the intestines. And then also it could mean that the circulation, your blood circulation, is starting to become sluggish. Things are clogging up. It's basically a clogging effect, hemorrhoids or piles, and that is secondary or following all the digestive conditions that you were dealing with. So that's why the food diary is so important, to get some information on what to eliminate, in addition to the digestive enzymes and the Biolumin Nightly Essence and the Fuchs Z and apple cider vinegar and all the digestive strategies we talk about on the program. We're just out of time. I apologize. If you want to call back tomorrow, we can talk about this a little bit more completely, and apologize if I left you on hold as well. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening. We'll be back at you tomorrow with more good health information. Take care. Have a wonderful, spectacular, beautiful day. Bye for now.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey Guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products, most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
Hi, this is Walt Augustinowicz. I'm the founder and CEO of ID Stronghold. By now you've heard our commercials about wallets that protect you from electronic pickpocketing. 10 years ago, I created a way to protect my own cards from prying eyes after government officials started talking about issuing a national ID card with a built-in radio chip called RFID. I felt having to broadcast my personal information was an invasion of privacy. Soon after, it was also announced that credit cards, debit cards, U.S. passports, hotel room keys, and even transit passes would all soon incorporate RFID. It was then I formed ID Stronghold to share my inventions in blocking RFID signals with the world. There are a lot of misconceptions out there today about RFID. I encourage everyone to get informed and get protected. Please go to idstronghold.com and get the facts and the wallets, sleeves, or badge holders you need to protect your personal financial data. You'll be pleasantly surprised that through our direct sales model, you won't pay more than other comparable unprotected wallets. It is as though the protection is free. Visit idstronghold.com today.
You are an individual with your own thoughts, decisions, and actions, so why should you be penalized for not enrolling in the subpar health insurance mandated by the government when you can be truly independent with Liberty Health Share, a bold, innovative alternative allowing you to take back control and make your own decisions about your health care? Mention this ad when you call to learn more. 800-714-6993. That's 800-714-6993. Liberty Health Share. Together, we are one.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
Turn on the news and you'll hear stories of natural disasters, political unrest, and financial crisis. In times of uncertainty, how will you take care of your family's most basic needs? Food Insurance, America's most trusted provider of freeze-dried emergency food, has solutions that fit your family's needs and budget. Our meals are delicious, nutritious, and come with a guaranteed 25-year shelf life. For a limited time, we are sending a free freeze-dried meal to all listeners of this program. Go to foodinsurance.com and request your free meal today. That's foodinsurance.com.
Okay, honey, I have to ask, and be honest here. Have you been taking a little blue pill? Because things have been pretty good in the bedroom lately.
No, I swear.
You didn't pick anything up at the Pharmacia last month in Cancun?
No.
Well, something's different.
I have been taking that heart and body extract you bought me.
But that's for your heart and to control your cholesterol.
Well, I read HB extract also promotes healthy prostate function.
I never guessed it would work this well,
but you're glad it did.
Oh, yeah.
Heart and Body Extract is a 100% organic formula that promotes a strong heart, healthy arterial flow, better circulation, improves erectile and prostate gland function, and provides youthful energy, strength, and stamina. Find out more at heartandbodyextract.com. Heart and Body Extract paired with healthy heart choices is a winning combination. Call toll-free to order or for free information. 1-866-295-5305. 1-866-295-5305.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.